Howdy all, welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little 70s Die. Oh man, I couldn't remember the name of the game there for a second. It has been a long couple of days. Alright, let's see here. I don't need... Ooh! We have a plane to go check. That's what we got going on here. I can keep those... Oh, you know what? It's shift and click, buddy. Shift and click. Couldn't remember what button it was to shift things over. Shift and click. Alright, how are we doing on food and water? We're good, alright. Let us go check out the airdrop, and then we'll be headed back out to do some more, metal looting for selling purposes. Okay, looks like the airdrop's over that way. Yeah, So, I think I mentioned that we had some storm damage to the roof, shingle-wise, not anything too bad. And so they called, or somebody sent, or whatever. I know I discussed this. I discussed how nobody knew what his name was, and apparently it was my job, even though I didn't call him or any of that stuff. It was my job to find out his name and phone number. And I have no idea if they ever actually got his name and phone number sorted out. But, so, and then, you know, we had discussed that we might have to get a loan to cover the cost of a roof because it's super expensive. Man, probably lucky old Trader Bob there didn't come out and grab... Whoa, it's better than mine. Okay, that's trash I don't need. That's trash I don't need. That's trash I don't need. Ah, oh, sweet new sniper rifle in better condition than my sniper rifle. Actually, you know what? It's probably only partially better than my sniper rifle because I do... Oh, you know what? We're really close to where I wanted to go anyway, so let's turn back to the east here and head back up the hill. Because I think I have some purple parts in my sniper rifle. It's just the other parts aren't good enough to push it up that high. Anyways, so we get to like Tuesday, I think, and they tell me that they've called the insurance company and they've put in a claim to see if the insurance company will cover part of the roof repair cost. And I will have to talk to the insurance agent. Now, the insurance policy is not in my name. The house isn't mine. I'm like, okay, whatever. I will talk to them. I don't know why it's me, but I'll talk to them. And so the guy shows up. He's an adjuster, and so he comes out and I talk to him, and he oh man, it was hilarious to me because he was like, he's a young guy, which isn't the hilarious part. The hilarious part is the fact that why is this rock here? This happened last time I was at one of these places. It's so weird. Like, that rock just randomly appears. You know, that's not going to work. You're going to have to do it up higher here. And, so he just keeps dropping everything. He opened the back of his car, and papers flew all over the driveway. He had a tape measure. He dropped that at least 4 times while I was talking while he was walking around and I was talking to him. You know, it just. And then the dude climbs up on the roof, and I'm like, he's not gonna survive this. He's gonna fall right off. He didn't. So I talked to him, and you know, he's like, oh yeah, well, it only looks to me like half the roof is bad, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look bad to me on one side, just the other side. And he's like, all right, well, we'll probably cover. I'll put in that you can replace the entire side of the roof for both buildings, and the attached garage, and I have to fill out the paperwork and send it to you later, and then once we do that, we'll send you you know, payment for half of what we're gonna give you, and then once you get it done, then we'll send you the other half. And so I think they're still probably gonna wind up having to get a loan to cover it, because they're only gonna get half, and that's still. Hey dude, I was gonna fight you, but you didn't want to come play, so you go cry to somebody else at this point. And so I come in after he leaves, and so I work. I mean, yeah, I work from home, but I work, and so the dude was here for like an hour in the middle of the day, which is when I'm working. And so now Wednesdays are my busiest day of the week. And so now I have now spent an hour of my busiest day of the week chatting with this guy. On top of that, I had a webinar I had to attend for work, which was another hour in the middle of my workday. So I had 2 hours of my day used up that normally I have to work. And so I think I didn't get done with work last night until about 9:30. And then today, then at dinner time last night, they're like, yo, the TV's not working. I'm like, okay, what do you mean it's not working? We're watching it right now. I can't change any channels. I'm like, okay, I can only get some of the channels. I'm like, well, that's pretty weird. I'm like, show me. And so it comes up on the screen that's like, you need to reboot your receiver. And so I'm like, well, do what it says. Unplug it for 10 seconds, and then plug it back in and see what happens. And look, there's more dirt. This is a tower made of metal. Oh, I guess there is some stuff up there maybe that... Oop, pieces are falling down already. I love it. And so yeah, I mean, they go over and they get on the floor and they crawl behind the furniture to get to the plug, and then he says, "This is what I did. I already did this," and he unplugs the television and plugs it back in. And I'm like, "Well, that's not the receiver." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, you're not having problems with the television. You're having problems with the receiver. So unplugging and plugging back in the television isn't going to fix it. You need to unplug the receiver." Oh, okay. Which one's the receiver? I'm like, I don't know. You're the one that's got all the cords there. Just follow it from the back of the box to the plug. So he does, and he unplugs it, plugs it right back in immediately. I'm like, okay, was that 10 seconds? I told you 10 seconds. No. Well, why didn't you wait 10 seconds like I said to? I don't know. You heard me say it though, right? Yep. And you knew you were supposed to do it, right? Yep. And instead you just unplugged it and plugged it right back in. Yep. Okay. So, that didn't fix it anyways. Because whatever's wrong with it, I don't understand. There is no logic to whatever is going wrong with our receivers. So what we got is we got 2 receivers and we got 2 hoppers. Sorry, I talked to a lady today, and I was like, yeah, so we got 2 receivers. Well, according to our records, you have 4. I'm like, okay, you have 2 hoppers and 2 joeys. I'm like, okay, well, in my mind, the receiver is the big black box that the cables plug into that go out to the dish that is on the roof. The hoppers, or the joeys, I mean, are, you know, these 2 satellite boxes, just tiny little boxes that connect to the receivers. But anyways, so the one in the living room will not change the channel, and the one in the basement works fine, but none of the joeys will allow you to change the channel. So I don't know what is going on, because that doesn't make any sense, because the one joey is connected to the downstairs hopper, which is the one that works. But the joey gives the same error message that the living room is giving, so I don't know what is going on. Because it worked, and then suddenly it didn't work. So I don't know. But, oh, I'm out of stamina. I'm like, why is this taking so long? So, yeah, so I spent 2 hours working on that today, and calling and getting a text sent out, and then they're like all mad at me like it's my fault. I can't believe we gotta wait till Saturday before we can use the television. I'm like, well, you can use it, you just can't change the channel. I suppose yours works fine downstairs. Yeah, it does. I already told you. I don't know why, but the one downstairs works fine. Figures. Like, it's my fault. I didn't do this. What did you guys do? My stuff downstairs works fine. Why is your stuff upstairs broken? I don't know why everything's got to be so confrontational when you talk to me. I didn't do it. I can't help it. That's their first open slot was Saturday. Drive me crazy. You know what? I'm not gonna knock this thing down anymore. It just takes too long. I can go over and we only got like 2,000 metal from it anyways, but I think there's another one I can knock. Yeah, there's another tower right there. We'll go knock that tower down. Isn't there a missile in here? I wonder if I could knock that missile down. Let's go see if we can knock this missile down. Oop. Let's take these night vision goggles off because they're annoying me. Isn't there a... Yeah, see right here. Right here's a missile. Now that I'm on top of it. Oh, good. Whew. Yeah, there's no missile in that one, but I got a missile here, so let's knock this missile down. As soon as I figure out how to get down lower. Oh, there's a ladder right here. Come on, we're gonna go all the way to the bottom. We're gonna fight the construction team. I hear somebody. But I don't see you, so... Now what did this say? 12,000? Are you kidding me? What is this made out of? Oh, there they are. Ooh, glue. I'll take that. This is gonna take forever. I want to do it though. I'm gonna take out at least one block here, so I can see what it looks like inside. If this is solid all the way through, I'm not doing this. But yeah, so it was once again 9:30 before I finished with work tonight, which is way late for me. It is ridiculous. So been a super long couple of days. We played our D&D last night, our normal Wednesday night game. That was only mildly irritating. I don't know if I'm just getting used to the irritating parts or what, but there was you're not really made of metal. Well, that's disappointing. I was all excited about breaking up this missile, but it's actually cement. It's a cement tower. Alright, how do we get out of here, guys? Oh. Whoop. Well. Oh, your arm came off. So we did have one thing where we I don't know. We saw this thing, and it was covered in a trap. And this is the game where I'm running with the book open because. Not that I want to know what's in the room. I wait until we get in a room and we kill everything before I check the book. Mostly I just want to see if he's giving us the correct treasure, because he skips our treasure a lot, and it irritates me. Like the book flat out tells you what to give the players for treasure, and then he just flat out does not give us any treasure. Oh, there was nothing in this room. And so we get in this room and we do this thing, and there's a trap on this coffin, and we found it. And wait, where's my bike? I thought I was headed toward my bike, but I was headed toward my house. And so I tried to use Dispel Magic on it, and the spell that's on it should dispel automatically. And he tells me that it's a super powerful version of that spell. Except that in the book, there is no super powerful version of that spell. Or there kind of is, I guess. Like, I could see where you're coming from, but the book does not say that's what you're supposed to do. And so... whatever, alright, so my guy couldn't do it, and then, so that was mildly irritating, but there was nothing in the coffin either, which, I don't know, I find these, adventures to be very loot light, and, like, you fight 50 guys, but none of them carry any change in their pockets? Come on, game. But that wasn't the super irritating. I mean, I was irritated that I failed to roll high enough to disarm the trap. But what was super irritating to me was in another spot, I had specifically said I wanted to check for traps, and he told the other guy, who also said he wanted to check for traps, to roll.
I've got the best deals in Navisgain.
To check for traps, but he never let me roll to check for traps. And my character is the thief, whose job is to check for traps. And so he let the sorcerer check for traps, but didn't let me roll the check for traps. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh yeah, right, I can just do this. Don't know why I was clicking them out one at a time. Hey, we made up to 48 now. Only 32 more to go. What do you got in your secret stash for me now? Ooh, the sniper rifle is almost as good as the one I just found. Simple light. Yeah, nothing super great yet.
Stranger.
Really want those solar things, but I gotta get my skill up higher. So I guess we gotta go find another place where I can knock down a tower. Alright. Let's see. We'll try there. We'll head east till we hit the road, then north, then east. Oh, and a trap sprung. A trap sprung because I wasn't allowed to search for traps with my thief. I mean, it may not sound like that big a deal, but for my thief, well, I don't know. I feel like the way the game is set up is weird anyways. But my thief is designed to deal with traps, and I think I get a +6 to my perception, which means when I roll the dice to see how well I see, I get to add 6 to the number. Our sorcerer gets like a +1. And so, I don't know why he... Oh, what happened? Oh, I rode right over the road and just kept going. And so I don't know why he was searching for traps. But then on top of that, to disarm the traps, I get like a +13. And so, what good does it do for the sorcerer to, yeah, see, nope, not to it yet. It must have been snowing on the road and I just didn't realize it. Or, more likely, I totally didn't pay attention to what I was doing. And, so yeah. So I almost got stuck with a dart. Luckily my dodge is super high as well as thief. And, so I was able to dodge out of the way of the dart. The rogue did, or the sorcerer didn't. He got hit. But, yeah, I sent a message to the sorcerer. I'm like, dude, how come you got to roll for that and I didn't? He's like, I don't know. It's just the way our DM goes every week. I'm like, I know, but it still irritates me. Let's try to think. There's something else. Oh, yeah. I wish he would play the bad guys like they were creatures and not like they were chess pieces for him to get the most damage to us. And, so like like we go into this room and there's 2 minotaurs there, but these are special minotaurs that breathe fire for some reason. I don't know, it's in the book. And so these minotaurs, they had already breathed their fire when we first entered the room, and so they, because they failed to regen their breath attacks, charge our characters, which is fine. But then 3 more come charging into the room, and instead of using their charge attack, they moved around the room to pin us into crossfires of the fire attack. Everybody but his character, which is why it was so irritating. But it's weird to me that they would run into the room because they heard a noise and they have a charge attack, and they would suddenly stop and then calculate their best fire angles to catch us all. Well, not his character, but our characters. And he made some comment last night about how his character was practically an NPC anyways. Oh man, this was hilarious. We get to the end of this, we get into this room, and the boss of the dungeon is there, and so we had almost taken a direct line to him. I let the other guy pick which directions. I mean, I didn't know where the bad guy was anyways, but we got in a room and there was a way south and a way west, and so the other guy, the sorcerer, he picked west, and I'm like, all right, we'll go west. I'm like, I'm fine with that. I don't think it really matters which direction you go in a dungeon, because you're going to want to go all the directions, right? And so, I could get metal out of that tower, but you also get water, which is annoying. Doesn't look like there's any towers in this town other than those water towers, though. So I guess I'm gonna have to push on. Okay, so where's a good... Oh, there's a good one. Alright, we'll continue east on this road here. And so, I gotta think how this went down. So, we rolled initiative to see what order we go in combat. My rogue got top slot, and so she went first, and so I pulled out my longbow, and she's multi-classed into a fighter, so she gets a special ability called Action Surge, and because she's an assassin, she gets advantage on attacks if she goes before the bad guys. And so I took 4 attacks with advantage against the boss. Advantage just means you roll twice and take the higher of the 2, so it was just a way to help make sure I was gonna hit. I'm pretty sure all 8 rolls would have hit anyways, because she does get like a plus 10 to her attacks. And so I put 4 arrows into the bad guy, the main bad guy in the room, and then next up was our sorcerer, and he cast a spell that set the bad guy on fire. So now he's on fire, and then it goes to the bad guy's turn, and he's still on fire. He fails his put out the fire roll and takes more damage from the burn of being on fire. And and then it's our DM's turn with his character, and his character ran over, and I mean, I did like 55 damage, 52, I think it was 52 damage with my attacks total, and he runs over and does like 12 damage to the bad guy, and then has this big, elaborate, how his guy moved and dodged and attacked with his spear, and then his kicks and his roundhouse kick, and how the bad guy reacted to the attacks, and how, you know, how his character just smashed this guy who was the big threat in the room and just took him out practically single-handedly. I sent a message to the sorcerer. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure I put arrows in him and you set him on fire, and he just walked over and did like 12 damage to finish him off. I'm not sure how that makes him the star of this fight. Oh yeah, look at those towers. There's some metal that I need. But yeah, it was pretty hilarious, I thought, how long he was going on, about how all the things his character had done to take down this bad guy. And, oh, and then I got one more quick one here. the bad guy is one of the 4 prophets, and these are like the big bad guys that we're supposed to be hunting. And so we've already killed one of them, and so this is the second one that we've come across. And so you know, it wasn't too hard to kill him at our level. I mean, we're level 11s at this point. And in fact, we got over halfway to level 12 now, so we'll probably hit level 12 in the next couple of weeks, maybe. And oh, you know what? Right there, that's where the rocks came from. That little post. Yeah, I see it. I see it now. And so the prophets, they all have a special magic weapon. And they're evil. And we commented, me and the sorcerer, to each other after our DM's character got the first one. They're not great weapons for the other 4 people, or the other 3 people. Like, my cleric is not going to want any of the special weapons because they're not the right kind of weapon. My thief, not really going to want any of the weapons because they're not as good as what I already have. The sorcerer, of course, is throwing spells, so what does he need with a weapon? So the one we got last night was a trident. And nobody in our group wants a trident. And but he sends us a link to it, which he hasn't done before. And so we're looking at the link, and I'm like, oh man, this thing's got a huge flaw on it that changes your personality. And the DM was like, it does? I'm like, yeah, right there, the last 2 paragraphs on this description of what it does. He's like, huh, I wonder if the one I've been using's got one. Yeah, it does. It definitely does, and you've been ignoring it because it hurts your character. We know. He's like, well, I guess what it says that it would do to my character doesn't really affect my character. And it makes you give up all your honor and willingness to follow plans. And and the sorcerer was like, yeah, we know your character doesn't have any honor. He runs away as fast as he can every time. So I thought that was pretty funny. But alright, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one, and I will talk to you later.